Elden Ring. Oh, Elden Ring. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to more Elden Ring. Yes, I did say I was going to use the sleep pots. First thing I should probably do is figure out where to get those. Yeah. The Fever's Cookbook. Do I not have that? Huh. I guess I didn't have that. Well, let's go nab that real quick. Oh, but first we should probably... Huh. Actually, throw it into the fire. Eh. Alright, well now that's done. Go back to Summon Water Village. Which is like... over here, I guess. Yeah. And the Fever's Cookbook should be around here somewhere. Now, I don't need the sleep pots to cheese the shit out of the Godskin duo. But I think it would be funny if we absolutely curb stomped them with everything available to us. I think that would be very funny. Oh, they're near where Kenneth was? Hold on. Oh, wait, I see. New ending, the nuclear age. Ah. I see. Fascinating. This is quite precarious, to say the least. There we go. Like a lullaby or a quagmire, its light purple haze irresistibly draws its victims down into deep sleep. Sweet dreams. Sweet dreams indeed. This is going to be so excessive. So, normally, if we still had Melina with us... Yeah, big description for a tranquilizer. Melina makes us fall asleep, sacrifices herself as kindling for the flame, because she's the kindling maiden. I guess that's just her purpose. Why was she able to do this when none of the other maidens could? Probably because she's the child of Marika and Radagon, most likely. You know, she is technically an Empyrean. Like, not technically, probably actually one. Or at least could have been one. But now we are, you know, the vessel for quite the flame ourselves. So, we don't need a woman for this. Oh yeah, there was a helmet around somewhere I forgot to get. It's basically the Preceptor's mask, but without the hat. And it mentions how Radagon made them wear those when he was married to Renala so that all of their personal matters would be very discreet and no one would talk about them. Quite interesting. Sounds like, probably something that added a bit of, credence to the idea that he was always Marika, but again, I don't think that really works. It's probably just Radagon being kind of a dick. Why don't we listen to the sounds of the flame? Listen to the voices. There are bugs underneath your skin. Rip them out. I've never actually seen this whole cutscene before. Hello. Those are some rather spooky voices, I must say. God damn, does this armor look good. Shout out to the Knights Cavalry for having drip. So I lay myself on fire, and then... well, it's the same pose we take in the ending. Yeah, it does sound quite horrifying. Oh, and then I guess it's just on fire now. Well, that was easy. Step 1, light yourself on fire. Step 2, profit. Oh, and then I guess we'll kill ourselves or something. Super kindling? Super kindling. Big shock that the frenzied flame quite likes the flame of ruin. They seem to synergize quite well. Now, I suppose, considering here we literally die, I think this is probably the Greater Will teleporting us here. Why would the Greater Will do that? Well, as mentioned previously, I don't think the Greater Will really gives a shit what you do, so long as you bring about some kind of order. Though considering this part is part of the Flame of Frenzy ending, maybe it didn't. Maybe instead it was the Frenzied Flame that teleports us in this case. You have terrible cable management. Take them out and rearrange them. That Furimazula ambiance. So welcome. Welcome to the place that the ruined greatsword comes from. A little piece of, I don't know, the bridge here or something. Even here, in the city of the ancient dragons, they're dying. I never noticed they kind of have like that little extra finger there, kind of like how a lot of birds have like an extra toe on their leg. Yeah, the music is very imposing. And as you can see, there's really terrible gifs of dragons flying around in the distance. Wouldn't be a FromSoft game without dying dragons. It wouldn't be a FromSoft game without everything dying. Now, these boys, in all of their low poly glory, would appear to be the modern flying dragons. So I guess this is where most of them hang out. Now, there are some interesting things to take into consideration when it comes to the differences between the old dragons and the new dragons. Most notably, the ancient dragons are just made of rock. They're just made of stone. And like, just stone as far as we can tell. Like when you find the dead ones, there'll be one later on that's broken up into pieces. They're just stone. Actually, we see some earlier at the Dragon Communion churches. They're just all rock. There's no meat in there. Whereas, obviously, the modern dragons are flesh and blood. The only other race we're aware of that is seemingly all or mostly stone is the Onyx and Alabaster Lords, who are described as having come into being when a meteor struck the Earth, which to me suggests that they are a life form that does not originate with the Crucible. And when we consider that the ancient dragons, are also made of stone, not fleshy creatures, it's quite possible that they came from a similar origin as well. By the way, in case you didn't notice, we can see Malekith's boss arena from here. I do not believe we can see the big man himself. If we can, I would go insane. It doesn't look like you can see him from here. I think he's just a little too far into the center, probably for the purpose of not allowing you to snipe him from here. Yeah, if we had a hang glider... Actually, I don't know if I'd want to be hang gliding around here because the wind currents probably suck us up into that. Though, that would probably just result in us fighting Placidusax early. Speaking of, I have decided that we're not going to touch Placidusax until next stream, which will probably be tonight, because I really don't have anything going on. So we just do all of the Elden Lords. And you know, that one guy who got really close to becoming one. Now here we have the wonderful Beastmen of Farum Azula. They look like fucking shit. They look like they're literally actively rotting away. And you'll notice that most of this place appears to be like a giant mausoleum. I know there's an area called a mausoleum in here, but like, this whole place seems like a giant tomb. Also, if you think about it, this is technically the legacy dungeon for the Mountaintops of the Giants, because this whole place is a legacy dungeon. And the Mountaintops don't really have one. I do not count Castle Sol, because there's another very similar castle there as well. So the Sanctuary Stones are here. All of the rubble that we have found throughout our journey in the Land Between has fallen down from here. The only reason the Ruined Greatsword has gravity magic is because it got hit by like a falling star beast or something. It imprinted some of its power onto the stone. How did that not hit me? Yes, the Beastmen certainly did serve the dragons and the Greater Will. So, why are the dragons accepted into the Golden Order? Why are they allowed to exist? You know, they don't have to be purged. Worship of them is accepted alongside worship of the Erd Tree. Well, it's because the dragons also worship the Greater Will. They don't really have any active opposition to it. An interesting twist from the usual case. You know, like, in Dark Souls, the dragons are opposed to the First Flame in the Age of Fire. But in this case, no, actually, the dragons are cool, for the most part, with the main power in the world. Yeah, what a nice smile. It's actually fairly creepy and uncanny looking from here, I have to say. It's actually quite unsettling. Now I have to wonder, did humans evolve from the Beastmen, or are they just a totally separate species? We're not really given any indication. I think they're probably separate, because it seems like the Beastmen were still around to a greater extent than they are now, when Marika's age began. Because Sirash was a Lord of the Beasts, and he became God for his regen. Humans were much bigger and stronger back then. But it seems like they were, like, even bigger and stronger than the Beastmen. So, I don't know. I don't know if we're too related. Yeah, they have the decomposed smile with the missing cheeks, so it makes their mouths look even bigger. It's really gross. Beastmen probably existed beforehand, and then were given knowledge by the Greater Will to serve the dragons. It's a possibility, I suppose. Like, this may have happened to some extent with them. It's talked about how beasts gained intelligence. Almost like it was just kind of out of nowhere. It's not really clear to what extent that happened. Like, did they evolve over time and just develop sentience? Or were they given it suddenly? That is quite the moveset you have there, my friend. Yeah, this whole place. I don't think there's any kind of living quarters here. There is nothing here except for tombs, for the most part. Speaking of this Cincada, actually, you know what? We'll go get that before we fight Malika. Since, you know, it'll give us the most opportunity to talk about him. So we'll wait to get that until then. Now, how is this place up here? Well, you know, it seems to be supported by the big time storm that Citisax has made. The fact that this place has been crumbling since time immemorial means that it probably got put into its weird time bubble a fucking while ago, or because it's outside time, it just kind of always exists. So, crumbling Farum Azula may have existed before normal Farum Azula existed, which is a bit of a mindfuck to think about, to say the least. I don't remember if I've ever killed this guy before, but we can see here a living ancient dragon doing his thing, as you do. I love, yeah, time-based mindfucks. Delightful. Ah, shit. I like how shitty their lightning calls are. How shitty they are compared to Citisax. Like, his are just so much stronger than theirs. They have such a bigger range, they do so much more damage. Yeah, they do have more wings than the modern dragons. That is something of note. But something I wanted to bring up is how the modern dragons came into being. Our assumption. I've stated this before. That, modern dragons are just the evolution of ancient dragons. It's like chickens to dinosaurs. Ow. But we have to take into consideration the existence of the Crucible and how that plays into things. Because in case you didn't notice, the dragons, to some extent or another, have every aspect of the Crucible. They've got wings, scales, tails, horns, flame breath, the whole shebang. They got everything. But the ancient ones are made of stone, and the modern ones are not. I have to wonder Could the Crucible have been influenced by other things? Do things from the Crucible necessarily have to be fleshy? I think being humanoid may not necessarily be something the Crucible would inherently make. Maybe that was influenced by the presence of the Onyx Lords and the Alabaster Lords. I think it's very possible, if not likely, that they were around before the Crucible. Yeah, Grail has feathers. So, the modern dragons actually have more features of the Crucible than the ancient ones do. Which I think does more... I could have just gone over here, I'm so fucking stupid. I think does more to suggest that the ancient dragons were not born of the Crucible while the modern ones were. Here we see more of this place being a tomb city. No life here. And yes, as some people have brought up, it's possible that these guys still technically serve the Golden Order, or the Greater Will. Probably more so the Greater Will than the Golden Order, because those two things are not the same. The Golden Order is what America makes them. But, obviously, worship of the Greater Will was around quite a bit before that. Yeah, this seems to be some kind of honoring of the dead. You know, like pharaohs being embalmed, put in big, fancy sarcophagi, having all their jewelry and stuff. And then other cases of the dead being buried along with their valuable possessions, their weapons and armor, or giving coins to the dead so that they can pay the ferryman. This is interesting to see as another sort of death tradition, very clearly differing from what there is in the modern day with urgery burial and such. And then, of course, we have the stuff with the death birds, where the dead are, like, cremated. Considering that the deathbird worship seems to be a more human practice, I'm thinking this is perhaps the oldest version of the death rites, you know? Funeral rites, whatever you want to call them. Beastmen and pillars from the bestial sanctum, you can see their hands are bound as they were forced to serve the Greater Will. That is definitely an interpretation. Also, I like that these guys' shields just seem to be broken pottery. Quite neat. I want you guys to think about the significance of this place's existence. Imagine if somewhere in the world there were, I don't know, some Mesopotamian city that was just there. Like, just there. Still with all of the people from then, saw the same practices and everything. A city from like 4,000 years ago. Then imagine if that city was actually from like several million years ago. That is this place in comparison to the rest of the lands between. It is a lot to wrap your head around. I'm thinking of making a new timeline when we get back to the Elden Ring lore videos, which I'm going to be starting up again sometime in the next few weeks. I'll see when, because, you know, end of the year's coming around. Well, you know, holidays coming up, so I'm going to be doing holiday stuff. Going to be getting ready for going away for college and shit. So there'll probably be a bit of a gap in some video production stuff. Probably definitely in regards to streaming, at least streaming games. Towards like the start of January. Till I get things all settled, depending on what happens. But we are going to get back to the Elden Ring Lore Explained videos. I actually just got a comment on the last one yesterday, and I was quite happy about it, to see people are still, you know, fairly interested in it. And I was thinking of just going back to, you know, the original planned schedule, talk about Frenzied Flame, and talk about the Outer Gods, and then, I don't know, probably talk about Miquella, because Miquella is the only person to defy the Outer Gods. But, my perspective and opinion on a lot of topics has changed so much that I feel it may be a good idea to come back with a video talking about how my view of things has changed. Just kind of giving my new view of everything. And probably get some kind of, like, actual program for it. I don't know what Vati and Quelaag use for their like flowchart thing, but it looks really useful, and I want to use it. Oh fuck this shit. Ow. Yes, Miquella did get locked in the incest egg. That is definitely a way to describe what happened. Ask in one of their comment sections? You know, that's probably a good idea. Miquella versus the gay incest baby jail. That is a combination of... Shield would be happy to help in any way with said lore stuff. That is excellent. I'm very happy to hear that. Oh! First time I've killed this guy. Wow. Do I get nothing for that one? Well, that sucks. Oh, you can see it down there. Yeah, that was like an almost died movie moment. I get a pat on the back. That's great. Thanks, Miyazaki. Oh yes, this is very interesting. This is a beast grave. The grave makes up half of the area. Oh yeah, she'll just remember that we're getting Alexander content today. Yes, we are. Oh yeah. Oh, I just remembered. Yeah, I forgot to do this yesterday, I do believe. should actually share the stream in a post. There we go. Now more people will know we're streaming right now. Alexander could one-shot Godric at this point. Yeah, he could. I want you to keep in mind that at this point, almost everything we encounter is stronger than Godric. I guess these random beastmen aren't. But, like, that's about it. What if the sleeping barracks were blown up by a falling star beast? That would be funny, I guess. But yeah, as I was saying, this place is a tomb city. Everything here, it's crumbling, first off. Unlike every other city, big dungeon we go into for the most part. It's a city, it's a fortress, it's a school, it's someone's house. There's a lot going on. A lot of, what would you want to say? Signs of life. Signs of it at one point being an active, prospering civilization. But here, in Farum-Azula, all that remains of the ancient dragon civilization, it's just the dead. Hi. So here we have the worm faces, speaking of the dead. These guys are interesting, because it's not really clear how they got here. However, there are some Godwyn growths around. I don't know if they're necessarily here, but there are signs of Godwyn's growing presence here. Thank you. Something of note that I brought up a few streams ago is that in some earlier versions of the game, it was found through data mining that the worm faces were originally called something like the Uprooted. Now this is very interesting. I'm gonna die right now. Yep. It's very interesting for a few reasons. First of which, being that the first time we encounter these guys is near a minor Erd tree. And with their association with Deathblight, that's also interesting because Godwyn is literally growing into the roots of the Erd tree. He is infected at like some kind of disease or a parasite. It's actually quite funny when you think about how influential Godwyn is. Despite us not really hearing too much about him, his influence is literally physically spreading everywhere. Oh, you know, I probably should have gone back to Roundtable to talk to everyone about lighting the Erd tree on fire. Well, we'll do that when we get to the next site of grace. Godwyn is a cancer. Kinda, yeah. If you consider it from the perspective that he's, like, causing growths and stuff, he's become a parasite god. Now that's... that's, as they say, that goes hard. If you think about it, the Elden Beast is an actual parasite god. It's a fucking amoeba. If they buried Godric in the Erd tree roots, would he become a plague? Probably not, because he doesn't have any kind of magical ability innate to him. It would just be like the normal Erd tree burial thing. So, this is a very interesting piece of architecture here. We have what looks to be a tree, and perhaps guarding the tree are these hounds, maybe? That have very weird, uncanny human faces with exaggerated proportions. They look a lot like the Misbegotten. It also almost looks like there might be two trees. Presumably, this is depicting the Crucible. And those are probably still the Misbegotten, who became the way they are because of interaction with the Crucible. More likely than not. I mean, it could be Shadow Beasts, but their resemblance to the Misbegotten is quite striking and undeniable. Oh, I have to look down for a second? Hold on. Oh, wait. I know what you're talking about. This? Yeah, don't worry. We're gonna get to that. Unless you meant look down, like, around here. Well, there is an item there. How is Godwin's influence spreading here? I don't know. The Erd Tree's roots are borderline metaphysical. Oh, I guessed it first go. Nice. Whew, that was close. This is some interesting shit over here, let me tell you. Yeah, maybe he can spread via flies. Or pollination. Or maybe he can spread through seeds, just like the Erd Tree. Oh, I almost thought that was a cliff there. Okay, so we have some running water here, right? I guess there's an aqueduct in here or something. And it leads out to this sort of little pond. And here we have the worm faces who seem to be very upset. And we have this big one who looks to be attempting to shove his face into the ground. His face that has a bunch of tendrils coming off of it. This is where I bring up again. These guys were at one point referred to as the Uprooted. Now, if I had to guess what the Uprooted is doing, trying to bury his appendage-covered face into a body of water, it would probably be trying to plant itself. Now, the thing about the worm faces is there is basically no lore to them. There is borderline zero lore. Considering there's one near the Minor Erd Tree, there's many of them near the Minor Erd Tree up in Altus. Their association with that, their previous name as the Uprooted, their use of Deathblight, meaning they have some kind of connection with Godwin who's spreading around through the roots of the Erd Tree. I'm thinking that these are probably some sort of buds of some kind, some sort of seeds. Yeah, we get Wormface lore every Wednesday. Oh yeah, there's also some in Galmir. There's some on Mount Galmir too. A place with a dead Erd Tree and a lot of heretical shit happening. Perhaps this is how Godwin's influence is spread here. These guys didn't come about because of Godwin's presence. Godwin has a presence here because of these things. For real history's sake, I have to bring up that there was once an ancient god considered a parasite god, and he was seen as a face on a tree. Please tell me their name. Dylan, you cannot drop that kind of thing on me and then not give me a name. This sort of real-world information is essential to our understanding. Yay, more glowwort. My favorite. Hmm. Maybe there was an aqueduct at some point. It's very obvious when you look at this place. It used to be gigantic. This is literally just like the... Maybe not even the center of the city. I mean, it could be, perhaps. And that's just all that was left of it. Like, it used to be fucking gigantic. It was maybe bigger than Langdale. Pattern recognition. Am I experiencing the human trait of pattern recognition of some kind? Maybe a little bit. Definitely bigger than Langdale. Actually, yeah, most certainly bigger than Langdale, given the fact that it seems like this was originally just one whole structure, and it was a fucking mausoleum. This place is a giant tomb. And that's all that's left of Missoula. That's all that's left of the Dragon Capital. Is their dead. And all the remnants of the dragon race and its servants have gathered around this nexus of death. The area for Placidusax is actually at the top of the tornado, and it's a giant. I was wondering where that was in relation to everything else, because obviously it has to exist somewhere on the rest of the map. Ew. Thanks for the gravel stone. I think it's implied that they may be throwing up gravel stone. I wonder if they've been eating it or trying to digest it. It may be kind of like how some birds have to, actually I think most birds have to ingest stones, because, it goes into what, like their gizzard? And that's used to grind up their food so they can digest it. If I'm remembering how that works correctly. Tornado does get wider as it goes up, that's true. Name of the god is Baal, which, that sounds familiar. Baal. That's quite interesting, I have to say. So Baal was a parasite god? Fascinating. Very, very interesting. That is, yeah, Dylan, that is a name we know very well. Not for satanic reasons, like, not pagan worship stuff. But, because we're regular Ragnarok fans. Tater says, did the Storm King live here at some point, or was it always at Stormvale? It seems like it was always in Stormvale. Stormvale seems to have been like a realm of storms at one point. Whereas this place, the storm seems to have been concocted up by Placidusax. By the way, the red, symbolizing primordial gold, in contrast with all the gray. Also a great color contrast. This game has such good color design. It's pretty phenomenal. Even places that are really toned down like this. It's got something. And here we see these fuckers have dragon miracles. They do be worshipping dragons. Big shocker, I know. Yeah, red and gold everywhere. The Egyptians called him a parasite god. And the Christians called him a fly buzzing around shit. The Egyptians had Baal? I didn't know that. That's crazy. Sauropods and plesiosaurs also use those stones. Which, when used in that way, are called gastroliths. Yeah, I thought so. Her book of the Capital's Ancient Dragon Cult. Really now. A lost tome that never reached the lands between. What? How is this part of the Ancient Dragon Cult? if it never reached the lands between. I mean, I guess if you want to say that the Beastmen's dragon worship is like a predecessor to the dragon cult, I guess you could say that. Still feels mildly inaccurate, though. So yeah, as you can see, Round Table's not doing too hot. Because it seems to be a pocket dimension in, like, the canopy of the Erd Tree. I believe there's a painting, a sculpture somewhere that seems to depict Round Table being up in the canopy of the Erd Tree.
Take a look around. The Round Table hold is burned, razed to the ground.
I mean, it seems like most of it's still here.
I don't blame you. I'll continue spirit tuning just the same as before, which is why I need your help persuading Master Hugh to leave. His roots are so knotted in this place. He won't last much longer if he stays here.
That's probably true.
His shackles are broken. He's a free man now. It's high time he put the Round Table behind him.
At least Roderica and Hugh are the only ones still doing their jobs. Neo, the only other person left here is Gideon. Oh, and Enya, I guess. Everyone else has left, or died, or both. Hey, Hugh, buddy. How you doing?
I knew you'd be back. Lay out your arms. Let's get smithing.
Are you still making weapons?
Weren't you listening? As I've always said, you came to challenge the demigods and their god, to slay them. And as long as you do, I will always smith your weapons. It is what I wish.
I just noticed the character seems to... I mean, I guess they're following Hugh's head. Well, it looks like they're following the hammer. Which, I mean, I probably would. So Hugh's just real dedicated to his mission, I guess. Does anyone know what sword it is he's smithing there? I assume that's not a model unique to just Hugh. He may even have the sword somewhere. No, that's not it. Kinda hard to say. Oh, the DLC sword. Of course, of course. By the way, we got 11 people in here. If you guys are in here and you haven't already, be sure to leave a like on the stream. So try to hit 10 likes if we haven't already. Yo, Gideon!
You burned the Erd Tree, didn't you?
Nope,
And the
not
Round
me.
Table is soon to follow. No need to fret about that.
How are you moving all
The
your
Round
books?
Table hold served to put a tarnish upon the throne of Elden Lord. And if the Erd Tree needed to burn for that to happen, then the Round Table must go as well.
That's very interesting. That's very, very interesting, because it seems like Round Table and the Two Fingers... Well, not necessarily the Two Fingers. Round Table acknowledges the importance of the Greater Will in the Elden Ring, but doesn't actually give a shit about the Golden Order. Which is quite interesting, because, you know, Golden Order wasn't really that much of a thing during the time of Godfrey. It didn't exist at all prior to Marika's coming, but the Elden Ring was already a thing. Worship of the Greater Will was already a thing. It's further proof that, you know, the actual Golden Order and the Erd Tree are secondary. They're not that important. What matters is the Elden Ring and subservience to the Greater Will itself.
I'll stay at the Round Table for a time. I must learn all that can be taken from this place.
Oh, so are these not
And
yours?
sear it into my memory.
Oh, yeah, that's what
How
you're
could
doing.
I
You don't
call
need the
myself
books.
the all-knowing if I did any less.
That's fair.
The pursuit of knowledge is without end. For knowledge is never a thing complete.
True.
Thus, I maintain the mantle of all-knowing. Perhaps the same could be said of guidance. Who's to say whether we'll remain who we are once the fight is finished? What do you think? As one who aspires to become Elden Lord.
That's a very good question, Gideon. As you experience new things and acquire more knowledge, you are bound to change. And after all of those things that happen, and all the power that you gain, who's to say you will even remotely be the same person? Oh. I guess I haven't stopped by these ladies in a while. Oh, death time? Not quite yet. I mean, we're getting to that this stream, but we're not there quite yet. Still got the worst boss in the game to go. Can't wait to murder Gideon next stream. That'll be great. Fun for the whole family.
You've done it, I see.
You don't see shit, you don't have eyes.
Now? I am a finger reader. I will remain here until their dialogue ends.
I'm afraid we've exhausted all of their dialogue, Enya.
Do as you please. Take whatever course seems most worthy to you. Now you may go.
Okay. However, I still want shit from you.
You'd force this tired old crone to work, even now.
Yes, I don't care about smoke inhalation.
Harder taskmaster have I never met.
Oh shit, we got 15 people in here now. Excellent. If everyone hits that like button, we'll hit 15 likes instantaneously. Oh, is there a somber smithing stone bell right outside the third church, or the first church? I guess I did miss that somehow.
Now,
well,
do what you...
We can go get it later at some point. It's not that important. Do I have a somber smithing stone? Well, let's get this bitch up to plus 10. It's about damn time.
Lay out your own.
Well, that's strange. I already have a plus 10. I need to get this up to... There we go. I should have known I already had this at plus 10. Now we got both of those. Yeah, I know Malekith lost to the Godskin duo in the Versus video, but I'm pretty sure Malekith could probably still win some of the time, and in actual lore, he would absolutely win. Anywho, yes, we should go see Muriel so we can get some lore. Oh yes, therefore Godskins is the better boss, because they can beat Malekith. There you go.
Greetings.
Hey, Muriel.
Do you need anything?
Here, have this prayer book.
Oh, what have we here? Very well, let us both learn together. Heresy is not native to the world. It is but a contrivance. All things can be conjoined.
You know, isn't it insane that even the fucking, like, Two Fingers prayer book is seen by Corrin as heresy? Like, only pure Golden Order fundamentalism is okay for him. Spoke of in legend, red lightning is the weapon wielded by the ancient dragon. Well, isn't that incredibly insightful? Just remarkable, really. But yeah, that's definitely a sign of primordial gold. The dragons. The first to be graced by gold. OSHA certification, am I right, fellas? Here we see even those who live in death are amongst the beastmen. Though, I suppose that would apply to everyone? Maybe this is because of Godwin's influence. Not impossible. Theoretically, everyone should be training into skeletons because of the destined death being sealed. OSHA actually verified this and said it was okay. What, like on Twitter? I don't know about you, Chief. This does not seem safe for human habitation. It wasn't OSHA, but I know there was some sort of government agency that was like a man with chainsaws. Let's talk about chainsaw safety and regulation. It was great. Oh, this is OSHA certified safe for beastmen. I see, I see. Well, that makes sense. Ah, yes, that's the trick. There's no humans here, so you don't have to worry about human habitation. Perhaps I should specify and say humanoid habitation? Yeah, these guys are chained to these. They are chained by gold. That's a very interesting little visual hint there, isn't it? Chained by gold. Against their will. Perhaps they were enslaved by the greater will to some extent. Now, is this going to be worth it? Wasn't totally not worth it. Yeah, it's very on the nose. We literally have the dead built into the infrastructure. Imagine you die and someone just puts your corpse in the wall at, like, the subway station or something. I would probably actually not have too much of a problem with that as long as I was in a cool or thought-provoking pose. Oh, we have golden arrows here. That's an interesting place to find those. Imagine this place with the jumping mechanics of Dark Souls. Literally unplayable. Literally unplayable. Oh, isn't that the Great Wall of China? No, those aren't built into the walls. They're just buried underneath it. It's a very different thing. Let's kill this guy. I like your cleaver. How? Oh, Dragon Communion, I bet. And that's probably why you're a bit bigger. Hello, Ecod Man. How are you? I think you were in here a few streams ago. I cannot recall exactly. The name is familiar. These are basically the big version of the big skeleton guys we find in like a couple of places. I want to read the description of those fucking golden arrows. Carved arrows made in tandem with the Erdtree bow. Deals holy damage. Highly effective against those who live in death, and able to prevent them from rising again. How did these end up here? Because they're made in tandem with the Erdtree bow. But this place predates Erdtree worship. Like, the Erdtree's existence in general is predated by Furimazula. Sir, could you please cut it out? Please. I would appreciate it. Maybe living and death was always a thing? I mean... Nah, that seems to be a thing that specifically came about. Oh, yeah, it's also the case that we're not the first person to come here, so it's possible that, like, I don't know, Bernal brought him with him or something, though I find that unlikely given his disdain for the greater will in the Erdtree. Maybe the Crucible Knights brought it, or the Banished Knights. Oh yeah, it is true that Dragon Communion's only something that happens with the modern dragons. But the modern dragons are here, they fly around. You know, the dragons flying around the place are modern dragons. We are not too far away from being able to level up, so let's just burn one of these. That should do. Yeah, it does seem that there are other Tarnished that have come here. I mean, we get a Lord's rune here, I think. We either get a Newman's rune or a Lord's rune. So, you know, it definitely suggested other Tarnished have been here. I mean, Bernal's here, but it seems like he got here after us. Actually, maybe he didn't. Maybe he did get here. And then didn't progress any further for some reason. For reasons we'll get into. So here we have some Banished Knights. Notably, they got a different hat on. How did Bernal get here? His girlfriend lit herself on fire. Actually, maybe she succeeded, but like, it still had the same effect as when Melina does it, but Bernal didn't know that was going to happen and didn't want to proceed any further because of it. But then again, the Urge Tree would probably still be on fire if that happened, so I don't know. I'll jump down to get the transept. I mean, I planned on getting down here anyway, but I'm gonna look around up here first. Well, by the way, I do believe this is the only place in Fura Missoula where we encounter these guys, so just keep that in mind. I think it speaks something to these. How did Alexander get here? Well, he gets here because we somehow opened the way to get here. Seems like us doing this just allowed people to transport here somehow. Or people that were near our vicinity got pulled along as well. What a lovely place with a giant dead ancient dragon. Actually, they look more like a modern dragon. Interesting. Oh yeah, I suppose if I wanted to, I could just jump down here and start the boss. I guess that's a thing you can do. I don't know if that fall will kill you or not. It doesn't look like it would. Oh, the gold on that tapestry? Let's see. Yes, yes indeed. Oh, my greater will. Oh, Elden Ring. Hello, sir. Yeah, but why would you jump down there? Why would you start that fight earlier than you have to? Isn't it really fucked up that the Godskin duo is one of the only actually mandatory bosses in the game? The only mandatory bosses, like bosses you absolutely must fight no matter what, are Goldfrey, Morgott, the Fire Giant, the fucking Godskin duo, then Malekith, Gideon, Godfrey, Bradigan, and Elden Beast. Yes, Placidus X does have some gold on him as well. Yeah, all of the ancient dragons do. It is a sign of their old allegiance. Though in the case of some like Lanciax, their current allegiance, and even the ones that are here may still be loyal to the Greater Will. No, there's nothing stating they aren't, necessarily. We just kind of assume that they aren't, because they kind of got a shitty deal. This guy's moveset is fucking insane. Holy shit, my guy. Calm down for like 5 minutes. Yeah, this random guy is a Lord Contender. He's stronger than some of the other Lord Contenders. Nice. Ah, would you look, it's the Great Bridge right there. Can we see? Oh, would you look who that is? Oh, I guess you could do that if you wanted. Not a terrible idea. Not a bad one. Technically gold free ain't mandatory. Oh, just don't fight Margit? Well then I guess Morgoth's the first mandatory boss. Are you absolutely certain he doesn't activate if you don't fight Margit? The Melania waterfall and the Citisax is a ruin. That would be fucking psychotic. Oh, what do we got? Hey, nice. Would like to get the hood though. I quite like that hood. Nice. I could have sworn there was a lore bit talking about the temple here. I don't remember what item it's from though. Yeah, there we go. You ever use the myriad runes collected? Nah, because you don't really need to. I just kind of have them on me. I'm just kind of flexing them, you know. I've killed all of the demigods. By the way, all the demigods except for, I guess, Mikola are dead. I've killed all the shard bears. I forgot to mention that last stream. That seems kind of significant. I slew them all. The demigods are no more, unless you want to count Malekith as one. Because he's called Marika's half-brother, but, you know, he's technically an artificial being, so that doesn't count. It'd be like saying Blythe's a demigod, which he was not. Man, it's wild to think about how long ago that was. Like, all the stuff we've done since then. Like, did we do Rykard's thing after, or did we do Mountaintops after? Let's see. Okay, we did Mountaintops after that. It's technically not that long ago, but that was like 2 weeks ago, so yeah. Feels like a long-ass time for me. Eat them all before Radigan? Oh, you mean these? You mean these runes? I mean, shit, why not? Why not? Did I go down here already? Yeah, we just came up from here. Cool. I really do like the ambience of this place. It's so nice. It's got like that... How do I describe it? It's got a little bit of a spookiness to it, but it definitely, it rings of like some sort of lost grandeur. Some fall from grace. This place was once mighty and magnificent, but that time has long passed. Yeah, the droning violin is really good. Hello, sir. Sir, your weapon should not be getting stuck with it. Poor form, yeah. Ow. It's notable that as you've gotten further in here, almost all of the beastmen are dead. They're almost all skeletons. Well, that was a thing that happened. Is he gonna respawn down there? Did he land? Because I don't think I got any runes from that. Those who live in death have the best speedrunning strats. A human bone shard. Now, that should probably not be a human bone shard. Unless that's supposed to be some indication that, yes, as a matter of fact, humans did indeed evolve from the beastmen. Yeah, a very interesting drop to get from that guy. Like, what's the description on it? Found by hunting those who live in death. Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. What do we have here? What is this? Is that some kind of fish? Bird thing? Looks like a Pokemon. And what's this thing at the center? I literally cannot tell. A spear, maybe? Actually, hold on. Yeah, I was just about to say, does that look like the twin bird? A little bit, yeah. Is this perhaps a sign of deathbird worship here? Oh, if it's a lamp, maybe that's indicative of the lamplight. Either way, considering this is a mausoleum, not surprising to see stuff related to death here. Later, bozo. Yeah, I didn't get any runes from that. What do we have here? I don't actually know. I've never been up here. Ah, Great Grave Glowwort. Hi. Oh, I see you boys didn't like me stealing your shit. Can't blame you personally. Could be they believed in death birds as it wouldn't oppose their belief in the greater will. It's just another aspect of life, so it makes sense. Yeah. So anyway, I was going to read the description for the Great Glowwort. Or whatever. I don't care. Great Grave Glowwort. Since times of old, large glowworts were used to comfort heroic spirits, given in tribute to those who died the most glorious of deaths, in hope their stories would become legend. So apparently this guy, who he was a huge badass. Is it just me, or do the beastmen's skulls look bovine? That looks like a cow skull. At least from the side. Ain't that weird? New discovery for Chilled from the architecture. Very interesting. That horse head guy was ultra cracked. Yeah, definitely. That guy must have been absolutely fucking stupid. Let's see. Gotta check something. We have 10 likes on the stream. Excellent. If you guys are in here and you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button. Here's the horse equivalent to Boris Throne. That's incredible. Doesn't Boris Throne already look like Ludwig, though? So he's already like a horse guy. Kinda, yeah. Yeah, I thought so. You know, I gotta say, going through places the way we have, I'm not really seeing supposed endgame scaling issues. Maybe it's because we've been doing like a semi-completionist run, but like, God forbid the game encouraged you to play most of it. I'm not really having any issues. I'm also like fucking 60 levels higher than I was when I came here on my first playthrough. So, yeah. These guys have death root growing on them? Not that I noticed. But we'll see some death root around here. We'll see some Godwin. Yeah, maybe you're intended to do most of the game or something. That's fucking insane. Fought God for my first playthrough at like level 120 or something. No, I fought him at like level 90. Don't mind me, sir. Don't mind me shattering all the pottery. I know, who can believe you're encouraged to play through most of the game? Yeah, I know, although I was super underleveled because I was not doing that, which hampered my enjoyment a little bit. My enjoyment was also hampered by the boss was coming up soon, encouraging me to just fucking spam Bloody Slash and not actually do combat normally. I say as we fight most of the enemies by just spamming the weapon art on this. Like so. What do we have here? Azula Beastmen Ashes. Interesting. Spirits of Beastmen from doomed Farum Azula. The slowly crumbling ruins in the sky. These ruins are said to be the remains of a giant mausoleum enshrining an ancient dragon, guarded by chosen beastmen who wield weapons clad in lightning. Well, that confirms a lot of things that I was already just assuming on my own. So, this place is specifically... It seems like Placidia Sax specifically chose this place to be where he would be hanging out for the rest of eternity. It's all for Placidia Sax. So what it seems like happened was the Dragon God left, and Placidia Sax was like, well, guess I'm going to go hang out in our mausoleum. You know, the great monument to our past, because arguably there is no greater monument to the past than those who have passed on. And I'm just gonna have this hang out with me outside of time forever. And then chose some of the beastmen to like drag along with it. That's interesting. And so these guys he chose to bring with him. His last remnants. So Placidia Sax chose this place to be the final resting place of the dragon civilization. Farum Azula. Does anyone know what Farum means? Obviously Azula means blue. But what does Farum mean? History would have been a very different story if Placidia Sax never decided to stay alone, waiting in the storm. How so, exactly? I don't think it would be too much different. He probably would end up getting killed by Marika or something. Oh, what do we have here? Some architecture. Gotta have a look at it. This appears to be a woman holding a child. A big person with the woman holding a child. Man with stick. And then person with a child again. Curious, curious. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. The Dragon Temple Transept. Google. What does transept mean? In a cross-shaped church, either of the two parts forming the arms of the cross shape, projecting at right angles from the nave. Well, can't really see it from here, but this church does seem to be cross-shaped, so I guess that makes sense. The name farm refers to the founding fathers or sea merchants who migrated from Bremen, Germany. That's incredibly specific. The founding fathers, so you know. The Wyazula. There's not really anything here that's blue. Unless it's meant to mean something else. Where the fuck is Bernal's summon sign? Or is it at the other entrance? Hold on, we gotta make sure Bernal left. Should be gone. Oh yeah, perhaps blue since it's in the sky. Yeah, you know, that's fair. Neve, I think you forget that hollowing is not a thing in this game. Maybe... Do you have to use the Furl Calling Finger Remedy for summoning NPCs, or is that only for players? What about Azurite? What is Azurite? Oh, blue stone. I mean, when I think of Azula, I think of blue stone for the most part. That's mostly because I'd be thinking of lapis lazuli. The baby Pukeko funny noise video here is not the wah 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 wah. If you can't bring Burn, I'll just summon a real guy. Now that's not as fun or cool as summoning my guy Bernal. There he is. That's strange. Recusant Bernal in all of his glory. So that's a big-ass modern dragon who's dead as shit. In fact, it looks like their body is literally petrifying. Actually, I think that is only their head. How fascinating. Alright, boys. Oh yeah, one more thing. Actually, I suppose the master volume raises this channel, doesn't it? Now, this musical track is quite wonderful. I don't think I need to say that. Why are these fuckers here? Well, these guys want the power of destined death, right? Are you fucking kidding me? Go to sleep! Go to sleep! Oh my fucking god. Go to bed! These things get fucking nerfed or something? Oh, are you... Oh, you're passing out. Sir? It just wasn't as instantaneous as I thought it was. Could you tell I've never used them before? So, I think the Godskins in the Spirit Collar Cave were part of the group that the Godskin duo is in, but they died along the way getting here. Oh shit. Hello. I love the escalation of the track. When we get into the second phase, it sounds so upbeat and heroic that I don't think it sounds like the Godskins theme anymore. It sounds like our theme as we're overcoming the absolute bullshittery of this boss. You know what, let's just... Oh my god, dude. He just doesn't stop. Ah, right before we got to the best part of the song, what a shame. Well, that was a fucking shithole. The player Tish and Bernal is a great party for this fight. So anyway, yeah, that was the worst boss. Clearly they're made pretty easy when you use the summons, but solo, ungodly. Apparently I've mastered the rolling technique. I expected to get hit by that, because I always do. For some reason, this playthrough is vastly improving my skills, without me practicing beforehand. Somehow. Yeah, it's almost as if the game was designed with summons in mind. Well, you see, it is an issue that I agree with. That it feels like some of the bosses are designed with gimmicks in mind, the gank bosses, whereas with a lot of the humanoid bosses, they're hyper-aggressive, meaning they're really hard when you fight them solo, usually, but then when you use summons, they become easy. So either the bosses are really hard or really easy with no in-between. Unless you actually spend time learning how to fight the bosses. Because, I mean, I've gone through this playthrough mostly fighting the bosses solo, and they're all pretty doable. Like, most of them are not that bad. Most of them are fairly easy to do without summons. Not like but, you know, like standard Souls shit. Anyway, what did we get from this one? Was it Black Flame Ritual? Or no? Or was it the Ash of War? Yeah, Black Flame Tornado. Yeah. So you don't even really get much of worth out of that, but yeah. I'm thinking this guy was maybe... that head looks to be about Grail size, I think. If Grail's the mother of the modern dragons, maybe this was the father of the modern dragons. But you know, they're dead now, so... shit happens. Believe we go down through here. No, we don't. But if they were figuring out how to skin that dragon corpse, maybe, though it'd be kind of hard considering I don't think it really has skin anymore, it's just rock. And the godskin like when their god clothes are soft and cushy. Hello again, Draconic Tree Sentinel. We will be arriving at you shortly. I mean, yeah, I guess hence why they had to figure it out. I'll give you that. Wow, you are cracked, my friend. Holy shit. This guy's probably stronger than Godric. There are actually quite a few trees up here. Yeah, it's gonna be death time soon. That guy was fucking schmoovin', like, holy shit. Hey, Beastman's Curved Sword. Let's have a look at that, shall we? I love lore. I wouldn't be here if I didn't. Now, where is that? That curved sword. Beastman's Curved Sword. Curved sword forged of dull iron, wielded by the Beastmen of Farum Azula. The blade is heavy but well balanced, comparatively easy to wield for the damage it delivers. Grand Sax would not fit up here. You are correct about that. He would not really fit in this place. There is not an area that would be able to support his weight. Like, he could maybe hang out up there, but he would take up, like, the whole space. Also, isn't it interesting how none of the flying dragons land? None of them land down here. It's only the ancient dragons that land down here. I wonder, do they not dare to? I imagine this place is a fairly sacred site amongst the dragons. Are they not allowed to? Only the ancient dragons may step foot here? Because it's essentially the castle of the Dragon Lord? Who knows? Don't lance because you know you'll kill them? You know what? I'll take that one. I'll take that. Let's see. We're now at 12 likes. We just need 3 more to get up to 15. It's a 4.5-star tourist attraction. Neve, I would very much like to get your Yelp ratings for every legacy dungeon as a tourist destination. Or really just every, like, major area. You know, Limgrave, Weeping Peninsula, Castlemorn, Stormvale, Raya Lucaria, Caria Manor, Redmane Castle, Caelid. In Elden Ring, I think you would need to... I mean, if you want, you could do all souls, but I'm just thinking Elden Ring. Yeah, the wind current, I was also thinking the wind current's probably enough. Yeah, doing a stream ranking every Soulsborne location as a tourist destination sounds like an excellent idea. Not a ranking, but a rating stream. The Yelp review stream. Is there an illusory wall here? It looks like there should be. How the fuck do you get back there? Soulsborne TripAdvisor stream. That's a great idea. Jarburg is absolutely a 5 out of 5. One of the very few. It is just straight up a village with jar people in it. I want you to think about how it is the only peaceful village with living NPCs in it in, like, all of Souls except for Majula. Shout out to Majula as always. The T-pose and creatures are perfect. Oh wait, I just jumped, don't I? I keep forgetting that's an option. There we go. Oh, my face itches. It's the worst place for your face to itch. Right underneath your mic. It's the only peaceful place, and it took pot to do it. What did Miyazaki mean by that? I wonder. What did he mean by it? These are pretty sick. These are pretty fucking good. I would put this in my house, or like right outside my house. Raya Lucaria 4 out of 5? It's really not bad. Are these what living beastmen looked like? Wait a second. Oh, fucking... You wait a second, too. That frightened me. Keep getting startled in these streams. The locals are a bit aggressive here. Now, where was I? These guys are wearing the Beast Clergyman set. I know, it's not a set that we get, but these guys are Beast Clergymen. This is what Garank wears. We never actually encounter any Beast Clergymen except for Garank. These look like statues. I don't think these are guys that were petrified. This one looks like he could be, but these seem to be statues. And I'm assuming, yes, indeed, the Beast Clergymen were dedicated to dragon worship. Yeah, the Beast Clergyman as opposed to the Beast Clergyman himself. Shadow Beasts come from Beastmen? Not necessarily. Because Malekith's physique, his anatomy, appears quite different from, like, all of the other Beastmen. And the Shadowbound Beasts are apparently created by the Two Fingers, so... Yeah, it would probably seem that most of the Beastmen, or, you know, like, all of the Beast Clergymen are dead. Which, I mean, would make sense. I don't think Placidus Axe gave much of a shit about maintaining the faith or anything. Outside of him waiting for his god, I don't think he really cared about what the Beastmen were doing. He just wanted, like, guards to be here. In fact, I think, because the Beastmen here were explicitly chosen to be here, this almost feels comparable to, like, pharaohs being buried with their servants. I'm going to rest here outside of time for God knows how long, because it's outside of time, you can't really measure it that way. And you guys are coming with me, because I said so. Yep. Also, if it weren't for the Rune of Death being removed from the Elden Ring, I'm very confident all of these guys would just be dead. They would all just be dead because, look at them, they're literally decaying. And two, there's no fucking food here. Certainly not for these guys. I doubt they'd be eating the plant life. I mean, maybe they could out of desperation, but I don't think it nourished them that much. It can be viewed... Yeah, it's outside our perception of time, play free. But yeah, these guys are... The Beastmen of Farum Azula are effectively terracotta soldiers. I'm hanging out here in my living death, and this is my army. The faith is where I remain. Whoa! My god, that flash looked amazing. Terracotta soldiers are cool as fuck. Where's the part that lets you take a gaze at Caelid from the ledge of here? Well, there's the mountaintops. Huh? Ow. Fucking asshole. Well, that right there is the Bestial Sanctum. So I guess we're looking at Caelid right now from here. There, that's the Caelid Divine Tower, I think. Or is that the Caelid Divine Tower? This and DS1's world design. Yeah, they're very different world design. With Dark Souls 1, it's just how interlinked everything is. With this, it's just straight up being able to see everything from everywhere. Oh, okay. So this one, this was the isolated Divine Tower. That's the one where we got Malenia's Great Rune. That over there is Caelid. That's the one with Radahn's, and that's the Bestial Sanctum. I love a consistent world. I love it. Yeah, you can actually see most of the Divine Towers from here. Caelid, isolated, uh, East Altus, West Altus. Then there's the Killing of the Giants. The waterfall being there... Yeah, you are currently outside of the lands between for sure. Yeah, we technically are. It's weird we never kill the Two Fingers. Well, it seems like you can really only do that with the Finger Slayer Blade, which is why Ronnie needed to get that. Or they just kind of die from broken connection from the Greater Will or something. Or because of the Shattering of the Elden Ring, that's interrupted their connection, which is why they've decayed, and then why some of them have died. Oh boy, almost time. Dragon Temple Lift, nice. Elden Wi-Fi, interesting. Very interesting indeed. Oh, my walkable mausoleum. Oh, you're dead. Oh! I haven't done that in a while. I got a dog to fucking... the judo throw. The swing. I was about to say... those are some ancient dragons literally embedded into the cliffside. The cliff judo returns. It's been so long. Do you have any idea how long it's been since we've done the cliff judo? Actually, I kind of did it back when we were in Nokron, because I got the Crucible Knight to just do the swooping attack directly off the fucking ledge. Back from DS3. This is a great stream thus far. Which is really funny, because, like, we fought fucking Godskin Duo this stream. We're at that point in the game where people complain about it having, like, bad balancing or something, but, like, this is going great so far. You think the Cliff Dragon is Placidusax? It doesn't look like it, because, I mean, Placidusax is up in his storm, and also his anatomy is quite different from most of the other ancient dragons. You fucker! Yeah, it seems like as we progress further into this place, it's just everyone's fucking dead. Man, there are a lot of you guys. Ah, Rancor Call. Yeah, you guys definitely worship the Death Birds. Or, you know, practice Death Bird burial or whatever. Because these are the spells that we get from the Death Birds. From the, Death Right Birds, at least. Godwin is definitely a scopophobia person's worst nightmare. Care to remind me what that was? I remember you mentioning it earlier. Isn't it interesting how these trees appear to be almost partially made of stone? Kind of reminds me of the arch trees. Also, yeah. Yeah, there are definitely two different sources of life in this setting. There's the Crucible, and then there's that ancient meteor. Because we basically have... shit, I'm forgetting. What's that one... what's that material that most life form... that, like, all life forms contain? Element in all life forms. In all organic compounds. Is it carbon? We're carbon-based? Yeah. So, it seems that there are two different branches of life forms. We have carbon-based life forms, which seem to originate from the Crucible, and then we have what I guess would be silicate life forms. So the Ancient Dragons, the Alabaster Lords. Oh yeah, Erd Tree Caesar. What do you know? Big view of the Erd Tree, we get some seeds. Are you worshipping it or are you cursing it? It's kind of hard to tell, because you're not speaking. Silicate forms are in the bottom of the sea, right? Are they? I don't know if silicate-based life forms even exist, because the only times I've heard silicate-based life forms existing was like sci-fi rock aliens. Yeah, living stars that originate from the primeval current and void. Oh yeah! The falling star beasts are made of rock, aren't they? Yeah, I mean, I guess they should still be carbon, but we're carbon-based. They aren't necessarily carbon-based. Unless you mean like the shit in the ocean should still be carbon-based, in which case, yeah. Yeah, he's having a heated argument over Erdtree's stock market prices. He's talking about how much this thing has influenced the economy. Astel is technically a dragon? No, that would be like saying the Alabaster Lords are technically dragons. No. They are just life forms that have originated from the same place to an extent. You! Die! Golden Lightning Fortification. Oh, we're about to ruin this guy's day. And by that I mean we're gonna kill him. I am blind. This incantation was used by the Knights of the Erd Tree during the assault by the great ancient dragon Gransax and the bitter war of the ancient dragons that followed. So you have three forms: carbon, graphite, and diamond. Yeah, we did crash the Erd Tree. This... Could you imagine how bad this is for the economy here? Think about how usual disasters influence the economy. We set God on fire. It might even affect the trout population. My God, what have we done? Interesting how some of these guys don't even use lightning. Yeah, that's definitely gonna have chaos taking the world and shit. I Gravellstone from that one though, so you know, got some of the scales. Crystallians, the Crystallians are made of inorganic material as well, but they seem to be artificial. Like they were made by people, as far as we can tell. Probably ancient as shit people. They were probably made by like the Onyx Lords or something. Because, you know, magic. Magical stone stuff. Hello. And we're on a roll today. This is going great. How the fuck do I get back up there? Oh yeah. I need to remember how, oh how, do I get to that other Crucible Knight? Lands between news. Local tarnished man burns Erd Tree. Faith in the frenzied flame and their new political lord of chaos, Misk, sweep the nation. I imagine a lands between election night would be very funny. Someone should do some kind of edit, some kind of a debate promotion thing that has like all of the Lord contenders. Like they're in a presidential debate. So there's us, the player. Horalu, chieftain of the Badlands. The ever-brilliant Cold Mask. Fia, the deathbed companion. The loathsome Dung-Eater. And Sir Gideon Ofnir, the all-knowing. All on one debate panel. Let's see, what were the people you're talking about? I guess Miscellaneous does have more fans than Mask's comic whenever that came out. Shouldn't the flame on the tree be the Flame of Frenzy? Nah, because we used the Flame of Ruin, we just empowered it using the Flame of Frenzy. So, like, it's still the Flame of Ruin. We just kind of revitalized it. Alright, let's see. Where is this Crucible Knight fellow? This is the Dragon Temple lift, right? Yeah. Oh, we gotta go to the rooftop for that one. Okay. So there's just something else here. There's something else we gotta deal with here. Gideon Goldmask would be the only ones we're listening to. Goldmask on a debate panel would be the funniest thing ever. Now, we must question, is Sarash... Actually, Sarash would not be allowed on the debate panel. It would have to be Horalu by himself. That would be quite interesting, wouldn't it? Hello, my friend. Here, let's get this all thematic looking.
Ah, I see you finally made it here yourself.
Oh shit, I forgot to change the volume.
Slowly crumbling. What an incredible place we find ourselves.
Certainly.
But that aside, you're certainly a force to be reckoned with, eh? I doubt there's a single soul who could have handled that giant other than you. It was practically a god.
Yeah, actually.
Of course, I count myself, the great Alexander, among the many. Which means I've but one thing to ask of you. Would you kindly undertake my ordeal? Come and tell me when you're ready. I've been longing to fight a warrior as accomplished as you.
Hello, Mr. Jiggy Man, how are you? So, Alexander.
You are ready then, I take it? Then let us begin.
Yeah.
I am the great Jar Warrior. Alexander, lend me strength. Let us become one champion together.
Yeah, he is pretty happy with this, I have to say. Look at this power he gained from Mount Gelmir! That fucking Hadouken! Two charged R2s, just like it started.
As I suspected, victory was impossible. This vessel was found lacking. My thanks. I knew you were the stuff of champions. It was a marvelous battle. I implore you, take what I bequeath from inside me. All vessels are destined to one day break. But the great Alexander lived as a warrior to his last.
Oh, is Hadouken the fake Kamehameha? I don't remember. I never played Street Fighter. So that was the thing. Shard of Alexander. That does look like a piece. Oh, yep. Shards of the late Alexander, a shattered warrior jar. Greatly boosts the attack power of skills. Scraps of stewed flesh cling to the shard, and tatters of ornaments can be seen mingled within the slime. Relics of a red-haired champion, it would seem. So this may be part of Radahn. And if Alexander put a part of Radahn in himself, that would probably explain why he got so fucking strong after the festival. And then we got, what I believe is a key item. Alexander's innards. A keepsake of the warrior jar Alexander, found at the core of the dead flesh that once filled the great jar. The jars contain dregs inherited from those who came before. Thus our warriors passed from jar to jar, carrying dreams of greatness. Well, that's certainly very interesting from, like, a cultural perspective, I think. We carry on the dreams of great warriors by putting their insides into a big walking piece of pottery. Could Alexander become Elden Lord? I don't know. I think you have to be a Tarnished to become Elden Lord at this point. I mean, not necessarily, I guess. I guess you don't have to be. Theoretically, any of the demigods could have become Elden Lord. We're just the people set out for the quest. Yeah, a lot of these... So that was a thing that just happened. I love architecture. This is why this place... I don't give a shit. This place is not up to OSHA standards. Oh, how the fuck did I miss this? If this place were up to OSHA standards, there would be a guardrail there. The man that killed Alexander. That's why there was... OSHA regulation. Anyway. We're at that point in the game where losing 90,000 souls means literally nothing. Jarburg. That's a place, right? OSHA are full of fucking shit. There is no way they said this place was up to regulation. Damn, the boys are still dead, it seems. That sucks. But at least you're alive, my boy.
Thanks for coming back, cuz. I've been thinking. It's time for me to set out on a journey. As a warrior jar. Upon the path of champions.
Here, let me give you a bit of a head start. Because Alexander was pretty strong already, but then got the Radon pieces after the fact. Here is the Radon pieces right now while you're still tiny.
Wow. Cuz, are these insights?
Yep.
From Uncle Alexander?
Yep.
Thank you. Cuz, I'm a warrior jar, so I need to be strong. I can really have them, right?
Of course, of course.
I'll get strong. Strong enough. I deserve to have Uncle's insights.
That's a weird thing to say, but yeah, you go.
I don't think I'll see you again. When I set out, warriors are supposed to work alone. Goodbye, cuz. And thanks for everything. I'll never forget you, cuz.
So we got a happy ending. Let's see. Who goes off to find themselves? Well, Nefeli gets a happy ending. Nefeli achieves something at least resembling a goal. Raya has a happy ending, goes off to find herself. And now, Jar Baron.
I'll never forget.
He'll go off on his own shonen adventure. Yeah, he'll be in Elden Ring too. Long may the sun shine upon Jarburg. Yeah, when my uncle dies, I'll take his insides. Behold, weed-infused lung. Is your uncle a big fan of smoking pot or something? Let's see, where were we? Here, I do believe. Actually, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, and then we'll be right back. I don't think we'll probably have to take any more breaks after this. So, I'll be back in just a minute. According to Tater, weed is just kinda okay, but vodka lemonade is where it's at. This is very important information, quite fascinating. I'm in the same camp as you, Neve. I'm not really interested in smoking pot. Maybe for different reasons, though. You say you have a weak constitution. I would just prefer not to be inebriated. I feel like that would go badly. For me, personally. Just feel like it's not a great idea. Now we're back here after, like, 45 minutes. I believe we go down there. Yes, you're 21, so you're allowed to share your opinion legally. Patches always get fucking saved in every game. That's just the consistent standard. It's because Patches is an asshole. He knows how to survive in these settings. No one else does. I do absolutely love the verticality of this place. It's so cool. Like we're just constantly descending. Just go around and around and around. And the ambiance is wonderful. It adds to it a lot. I too miss Elden, John. Only he were here somewhere. Hello, Godwin. How are you doing? Are you enjoying your Sunday? The Lord's Day? Yeah, these are statues of the Beast Clergyman. The last time Dylan smoked weed, he woke up, and by woke up I assume, well, maybe you passed out at some point. You probably passed out at some point. At a rave in another city, and he and his friend had no idea how they got there. Interesting. I feel like weed usually doesn't do that to people, though. I think you probably had to have taken something a little stronger than just normal pot for that to happen. Interesting that Godwin's here, though, as we get fairly close to, Gurunk, you know? The guy who is pursuing Deathroot. If you think about it, he's kind of been eating Godwin. Yeah, you can see from this dragon's remains here, they're all stone. There's no flesh inside. Now how did this guy end up here? I don't know. The same way anyone else ended up here. Now, I think, maybe, possibly. Why did I not heal there? I swear to God I hit square. Input delay. I am going to string you up from a lamppost. These guys may be here because the dragons were kinda close with the Crucible. By kind of, I mean way more so than modern society is. A mini Godwin is growing inside Gurunk. That's a horrifying thought. Gee, Elden Ring, I'm gonna kill you. If you think about it, Radigan America is technically Mpreg. It was a nice rave? Well, that's good. I don't know what a nice rave looks like, but I'm glad to hear it was satisfactory. Yeah, who is that Death of the Demigods fella? That guy. It's probably also because he contains the actual rune of death within him. When he consumes the pieces of Godwin, they just die for real. Actually, that's probably the case. Yep, no flesh, all stone. No bones. No bones of any kind, it's just all rock. How did they get here? I don't know. Teleported. How does anyone else get to this place? I have no fucking idea. They probably have some kind of teleportation gates somewhere. You know, like the ones we use to occasionally get around. Stones of Bones. Sounds like something from my D&D campaign. Yeah, that dude's dead as fuck. Now let's see here. I see. Alright, I think I got it. Ah! Oh, we're good. That's good. So here we have some Stormhawks. How did they get here? Well, I think it's pretty clearly just flew here. And it's stormy weather. It's like their natural habitat. Probably came here because of, well, you know, Godric taking over Stormvale. And maybe also the Stormlord being defeated. So they may have been here for varying amounts of time. Oh, we'll get that later. Yeah, and I suppose Placidus X is also a Stormlord, so he fits the bill for what they're into anyway. Did that bird kill itself? That's kind of funny. It is very amusing to me that in this game, Miyazaki was like, alright, everyone fucking hates dogs. What if we made something worse? I know, flying dogs. Like in Bloodborne, we had the crows, but they were land-bound. They couldn't fly. Bruh. I don't know how that didn't hit me. What? Wait, are you just the same dragon that kept despawning or something? That's weird. Anyway, what's over here? Nice. Okay, so Elden Ring ahead. Oh, I suppose you're correct in that sense. He spawns at low health? Yeah, I mean, it seemed like it, yeah. Southeast. This seems southeast to me. Kinda. It's kinda hard to tell, actually. I think that's where I want to go. Do believe. Okay, so let's go there. Go fuck yourself. Oh my god. I I didn't see any more stuff up there, and we'll be going back there anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. It is what it is, as they say. And by they, I mean me. Never been down to this part before. Me neither. And apparently neither had Smotown until a few weeks ago. A lot of people did not know this place exists. Night ahead. Down ahead. I do believe this is the lowest part of Furamazula. Got some more Godwin growing. Bruh. Are you fucking kidding me? I took a step too far. I love input delay. It's great. Phenomenal. Yeah, definitely an F in the chat moment. The killer of Radahn right here. The one who slew Melania. The undefeated swordswoman. And the goddess of rot. Defeated once more by gravity. We really should have been beaten by Radahn. We never should have defeated that guy. Griever's here. Excellent. Fantastic. Thanks for the like. We're getting into some very entertaining stuff today. Well, we'll be getting into more entertaining things tonight. But the stream ends off with, like, the coolest dude in the game, so it offsets it. Still cool. Yeah. Death indeed. My favorite. That was unnecessary. That's cool. I usually listen to these while cooking or what have you. Oh, interesting. I was wondering how much you tune into these, since you have been here a few times. Yeah, tell Band to have me fight a character that uses gravity, because it's my one weakness. Yeah, if you're cooking right now, Griever, what are you making? Unless you're just talking about how that's what you generally do. Here he is, folks, the last night. The last Crucible night in the world. And he's fighting the Beastmen. Griever's making tacos. Interesting, making taco meat. I just mentioned to my dad yesterday how I wanted to, since there's like no fucking Berea taco places within 20 minutes of here, to just try making them. Because I want them. I must consume them. Oh my god, they can't stop killing themselves. Every time. Gravity just kills everyone. There's always hidden path. Is there a hidden path here? I mean, like, lore, canonically, gravity is the strongest power in the universe. The power to defy fate is based in gravity. Instant pot Berea is the shit. Interesting. Now I need to know what that is. It's probably a fucking stone sword key or something. Oh yeah, hard shell is the more North American style. I remember... What was it? Oh, I remember what it was. It was one of those, animation appreciation posts on Twitter, and it was like a scene from, what was it, fucking Turbo? Where a dude was making tacos, and it looked really nice, but everyone was like, this dude lives in fucking LA or something, he's using hard shell tacos, these are not real Mexican tacos, get the fuck out of here. Watch, that item's gonna be like a stone sword key or something. I don't even know what it is. Now, why was the Crucible Knight fighting the Beastmen? Well, I don't know. I think the Beastmen are probably all insane by now. I think almost everyone is insane by now, but you know. I'll leave that up for other people to think of. Maybe the Beastmen technically still serve the greater will, I guess. Ah, you don't have the right. I'm gonna cry. We should be done with all the funny business here in like 45 minutes, I think. Lock-picking lawyer versus Elden Ring? Just an average Renaissance enjoyer punking on a group of furries? Ah, that makes sense. Because you know, when the time eventually comes when we gotta do a lore video on the Crucible Knights, we're gonna have to talk about where all of them are, why they are where they are, and why they're doing what they're doing. Because with the fact that they don't respawn when you kill them, and that there seems to be only 16 total, technically all of the Crucible Knights are unique characters. I know only Ordovis and Celeria have names, but they are technically all characters. They're not just random NPCs, like random enemies. Which means where they are and what they're doing is significant. Ah, Bolt Drake Talisman +2. Worth about as much to me. Worth less to me than a stone sword key. Well, yeah, completion is shit, whatever. I never use defensive rings or talismans or runes or any of that stuff. Mostly because, generally, I just try to dodge shit. I feel like most of those things are way more useful for players who actually block. Yeah, I get that 100%. We will. We shall. Give me the seed. Fuck you. Fuck. Leave me alone. Dragon Crest Great Shield is the best defense talisman. That's great, but you see, for me, the problem with defense talismans is I never plan on getting hit. I will, but I never plan on it. My primary focus is damage and stat improvement. Definitely not OSHA certified. This is literally just a collapsed gazebo. So, you know, big man's down here, but we're saving him for tonight. We're gonna save the Dragon Lord for tonight, so we can do all the lords in one stream. Yeah, pairing it with Radigan Sorcerer was a good idea. Stone Miner's Bellbearing 5. Where do we get number 4? I can't remember. Come on, man, leave me alone. Ah, my favorite bridge, the gazebo. Classic. Old as time. Literally, this whole fucking place is old as time. We are beside the Great Bridge. 3 is outside First Church Americas, 4 from God's Can Do It. I see, I see. Good to know. How did I miss the one outside the church? I have no idea how I did that. Almost time for Malekith. It's almost time. And how fitting that in the second full playthrough, we actually complete his questline, so we get different dialogue from the first playthrough. And we'll probably be getting all of it, because I am definitely going to die several times against him. But that's a-okay, because it's Malekith. So first things first. Down here. There's some guys, some dudes, some fellas down here. Yeah, and the Blasphemous Claw is big as shit lore. Big as fuck. Here we have a fancy chest. Don't get many of those in this game. We get invaded by Burnal. Am I gonna use the claw? Probably not, because I don't have the timing down. Bro, let me use my fucking weapon art. Thank you. What is that weapon he has? I'm glad you asked that. It is, quite something. To say the least. Ah, you can interrupt that. Good to know. Bernal has your favorite armor in the game. Nice. Oh shit, we got 17 people in here. That's a new peak, I think. If you guys just hopped in and you haven't already, be sure to leave a like on the stream. We're almost done with Guru Missoula. Hey, my legendary armaments trophy. I have at last acquired all legendary armaments. So, for some reason, here in the latest part of the game, we get a shitload of Rykard lore. For some reason. First off, we're probably going to swap this out for the claw, I guess. Have I got all legendary spells? No. I do not. Is Godskin magic worth finding? I mean, I enjoy using it. I used Godskin incantations for a playthrough, and I found it to be pretty fun. Because, I mean, it's like basically just normal pyromancy, but it does a bit of health drain. I like it. Where do we start? How about we start with the really, really big one? This isn't a full 100% run. This is just us finding most of the lore. This isn't a. If this was a true 100% run, we would have done Dung Eater's quest line, which we're not fucking doing. Obviously, we killed his ass. This is a semi-completionist playthrough. Swap the physic for the claw. A slab of rock engraved with traces of the Rune of Death can deflect the power of the Black Blade. On the night of the dire plot, Ranni rewarded Praetor Rykard with these traces. Should the coming trespass one day transpire, they would serve as a last resort foil, allowing Rykard to challenge Malekith the Black Blade, the Black Beast of Destined Death. So, Rykard was actively conspiring with Ranni in the Night of Black Knives. Why? Well, one, he didn't like the Erd Tree, he didn't like the Greater Will controlling everything. Two, he was probably pissed about Radagon leaving his mom. It's probably a combination of factors. When Ranni was like, hey, bro, we're going to murder our step-sibling, and I'm going to kill myself. I maybe didn't share that part. Yeah, we're going to attack and dethrone God. Rykard was like, fuck yeah, I'm super down with that. By the way, I just noticed these both kind of look like two halves. To an extent. They face different directions, you know what I mean. Now this, I do believe, kind of looks like you could put it over one of your fingernails. Especially if it's really big. You could imagine this being amongst the many rings that Rykard has on his many fingers. So, they were operating under the assumption that, oh, if we get discovered, Malekith is going to try and kill us. Which would make sense, because Malekith is literally the guardian of Destined Death. If you try to steal it from him, he's going to fucking kill you. So, you know, presumably Ranni or the Black Knife Assassins snuck up on Malekith when he was probably hanging out in Lanedale at the time. Like, he was probably still in Lanedale. Stole it from him, did the ritual, did the Night of Black Knives. But Rykard, maybe his involvement wasn't discovered. It's unclear if they know he was involved in this. It's not clear. Because he could have been eventually titled the Lord of Blasphemy for a number of things besides this. However, if this were discovered, it would do a lot in explaining why Lanedale was like, fuck Rykard in particular. We are going to assault the Volcano Manor. It'd go quite a ways in explaining that. Now we've got a legendary armament somewhere in here. It's quite weird. It's a weird thing. Devourer's Scepter. It's a great hammer, apparently. Scepter in the shape of a serpent devouring the world. This weapon will one day become the very symbol of the Lord of Blasphemy, one of the legendary armaments. So it's not legendary because of what it's done. It's legendary because of what it will do. A vision of the future briefly seen by Rykard in his final moments before being devoured by the Great Serpent. It is indeed a very odd weapon, but a very cool one. Yeah, and then it would do the kind of gravity thing. I wonder, it's actually very similar to Gravitas. What's its weapon art called? Devourer of Worlds. Nice. It's very similar to Gravitas. So I'm wondering if it was actually inspired by Radahn's gravity magic. Yeah, everyone seems to be carrying these legendary armaments. It's funny how many random fuckers have these. It's cool how Rykard gave Bernal his vision of the future. Ah yes, speaking of Bernal. The Beast Champion Helm. Silver helm engraved with tiny beasts, worn by Bernal the Recusant. The beasts, their eyes and ears covered, represent an oath. See nothing, hear nothing, doubt nothing, and carry on, along the path set in stone. It's the first time I've read this one. I suppose maybe this could kind of be about how the Beastmen are effectively slaves to the ancient dragons and to the greater will, but they're like, hey, as long as we're not aware of the fact that we have no free will, then it doesn't really matter. Maybe that's kind of the deal. In Bernal's case, this clearly applied to back when he was trying to become Elden Lord. You know, just kind of proceed along the path, do your duty, don't have any awareness of what is going to happen along that path, the things that you will lose. Just don't focus on that. Just go along the path set in stone, the fated path. Of course. Then we have this. Silver armor engraved with tiny beasts, worn by Bernal the Recusant. Beasts are drawn to champions, and to lords, and this armor befits a champion worthy of becoming a lord. And that is what Bernal was, until his maiden threw herself into the fire. So, I don't think it was the case that that didn't work. I think it was more the case that happened, and Bernal was like, I did not want this to happen, I don't want anything to do with this anymore. And that was when he decided this is all bullshit. I'm gonna burn down the fucking Erd Tree. I'm gonna join Rykard and we're gonna destroy this shit. And why is he here now? Following us? Well, he's here for the same reason we are. He has the blasphemous claw. What do you think he's doing? Where do you suppose he's going? Well, I feel like that kind of speaks for itself, doesn't it? Old Lord's Talisman. Would be pretty cool if we were able to summon Bernal for fighting Malekith. He is also here to avenge Rykard to an extent, that much is true as well. Old Lord's Talisman. Cool that it's right next to the Radigan icon. I like that. A legendary talisman depicting the ancient king whose seat lies at the heart of the storm beyond time. Isn't that quite the collection of words? That is quite the sentence there. And that, you know, 4 heads. That's Placitus X. He did in fact have 4 back in his prime. Extends the duration of sorceries and incantations. Very fitting. That's actually a very fitting effect, given that he's just kind of been festering for an eternity. It is said that the ancient royal city of Farum-Azula has been slowly crumbling since time immemorial. Hello, Gracie. I imagine you're busy doing your vacation stuff, so I hope you enjoy doing that. Yeah, an emote promotion. If you guys want to get to use emotes in chat, you can always hit that join button to become a channel member. Each head has the voice of one of the Beatles. I like the sound of that. I do like the sound of that quite a bit. I believe there's a chest over here somewhere. Not just that. Still pretty useful. But then there's this, which is even more cool than just a Sunday smithing stone. Ow! My god, do you do a lot of fucking... Ooh. Busy resting. Yeah, traveling can be quite exhausting. If Weezer's chaotic evil beat the Beatles are lawful good. Are you saying that Weezer is like the anti-Beatles? I've never really thought about that before. I would appreciate it if these guys could drop their cleavers. That would be nice. So here we are back at this elevator shaft that we walked by earlier. Weezer is better than the Beatles? Oh, Gracie, don't say that. Don't say that. Yeah, that's an interesting take. June 9th, 2025. What does that mean, Neve? What does that mean? Yeah, I did smack the fuck out of that beast, man. I do love... Isn't it cool how we're actually lower in elevation than the mountaintops? Like, we're not up in the fucking stratosphere. We're just kind of off away from everything. Yeah, I'm sure Neve's planning your death. Neve's definitely plotting to kill you. The Drake Knight set. This is what Eleonora was wearing. Eleonora was intelligent. She recognized that an arcane build lets you do really good bleed, and you can do Dragon Communion shit. Frumazula is an airship. I mean, I guess it kind of is. Though it doesn't really fly around much, so it's just kind of like an air city. Which is exactly what it is. Black iron helm worn by Drake Knights. Features the spoils of a dragon catch as an emblem of pride as both dragon hunter and partaker of communion. From birth, Drake Knights speak not a word. They spend their lives pursuing the strength of dragons for its sublime beauty and inspiration of awe. So this set is quite interesting, to say the least. It's got some nice color to it. I'm a big fan of that. If I can figure out what the rest of it is. There. It's very colorful and cartoony. I like the contrast of the black and orange and red. But the helmet does look a bit silly. And the wings, yeah, the wings are a bit goofy. Dressed up like a Monster Hunter character. I like the color, but I don't necessarily like the design. Oh, but the sex bot does like that. That's good. Goodbye. So what I think we'll do... We'll put our Knight's Cavalry thing back on, but we'll keep these gloves for the sake of a little color. Yeah, they work well enough. Monster Hunter's so good, man. I've tried getting into it, and I just kind of can't, unfortunately. I have played it a bit. I'm like, yeah, that's good. Can you fly in this? Unfortunately not. That would be pretty cool, though. Actually, you know what we're going to do before we fight Malekith? We're going to do a little mix and match, and we're going to do a little Elden bling, as the cool kids say. I don't think they actually say that, but you know what I mean. Oh, look at that dude. Look at that thing go. Yeah! Are you cheesing the Crucible Knight, my friend? Yeah, the controls in Monster Hunter are a bit much. They're a bit kooky. So, let me show off the altered Beast Champion set. Thank God I invested so much in endurance. You know, this is what Bernal was rocking. Definitely very cool. And absurdly intricate. Like, fucking ridiculously intricate. This is the most complicated armor they've ever put in one of their games. It's absurd. Then we're gonna alter it. We're going to alter it to put the cape back on it. And this is quite interesting looking, to say the least. I think this is the same tapestry that they have around for Missoula here. But then we have the blue, which is actually, you know, azure, blue. This armor looks really fucking good with this cape. I think we're just going to keep this on. Because why not? Bernal's a cool guy. We'll honor his memory. And I will resist the urge to go to the bathroom again, because I don't feel like waiting much longer. There used to be a purple version for the cape? Interesting. So there's one last foe standing in our way, kind of. Not really. I mean, you could just run past him like most people do. But we gotta get his armor. One more Draconic Tree Sentinel. What's he doing here? Well, maybe the Crucible Knights came along with him. I would not be super shocked if he did. It would kind of make sense as to how, like, both of them are here. Alright, so all three of them here. Gotta get that armor. Not because it looks good, because I don't think it looks particularly good, at least not on us. Fuck you. I hate that attack so much. It's so bad. Get over here! Ah, shit. Can you stop spamming that, please? Oh, man. Sir? Gravity? No. Oh, shit. Go fuck yourself. I can't believe I got him first try. He's always a tough one. The Malformed Dragon Set. If this had a cape, it would be the best thing ever. But it doesn't. And it doesn't look that good without a cape. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, Griever, if you're still in here, there's a really cool guy we're about to encounter. Malformed golden armor, adorned with various dragon imagery and worn by the misshapen tree sentinels. After the great ancient dragon Grandsack's attack, the sentinels had an epiphany. The only way to truly protect the Erd Tree was to become dragons themselves. Well, I mean, doesn't conflict with Erd Tree worship. Dragons are strong as fuck. Might as well. They only show off how it looks, so you can understand what I mean when I say it would look better with a cape. It looks incomplete. It needs a cape. It just looks silly without one. There's no flowy bits. This is in dire need of flowy bits. We can check and see if it's got any, but I don't think it does. If you really want to make sure Griever sees our fight with Malekith, like, I don't know, ping him on the Discord or something. Maybe he'll respond. If he hasn't messaged in chat yet. It doesn't. Tragic. So you can take the cape off the normal Tree Sentinel armor, but you can't add one to the Draconic Tree Sentinel armor. Fucking piece of shit. Looks like a good set of armor. I mean, it looks alright. I just think it needs... You know what it is? It makes your head smaller. See? It shrinks your fucking skull. That's what's wrong with it. It's just like the Black Knight and the Silver Knight set. Literally makes your brain smaller. Let's pop one of these. Pop one of these bitches. Yeah, that should suffice. Pun head ass. Exactly, it's silly. Here, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. We'll give Griever a chance to show back up. If he does. And then we'll get on to the main event for this stream. Not the main event for today, because we're going to finish the game tonight. But, that thing you're all here for. Oh, and we just hit 15 likes. Beautiful. If you guys are in here and you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button. I let my cat in here for a minute when I went to go to the bathroom because he was begging to be let into my fucking sister's room while she's not here. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I open the door for him. I'm like, go. He just sits there and looks at me and then keeps asking to be let into my sister's room. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you? You silly little creature. You fool. Yeah, they're silly little critters. Quite amusing. Well, maybe Griever misses the big funny beast man, maybe he doesn't. Who knows? I don't know if he's actively in chat, if he's like busy cooking. Because, you know, he's probably busy cooking. Cats are funny creatures, that's why I love them. Now, let's see here. Actually, how many golden seeds do I have? Only 4. Okay, so we won't even be able to upgrade it yet. Oh right, I feel like this looks like some kind of talisman, but I'm not sure which one. So it looks like a pineapple there at the bottom. Yeah, thanks for the good luck, we'll fucking need it. I have not even remotely mastered this first phase. So, look at that Elden Ring.
Tarnished. Why wouldst thou? Why?
He sounds so upset, so betrayed.
Better.
Ow. But he's very upset. He's being betrayed again after we helped him get all the death roots. But he's still believing in his duty. So that looks like an old version of the Elden Ring that has so many more runes on it, which means that over time, I want you to think about this. In the past, there were more laws to the universe than there were right before Marika's age, when there was the Rune of Death. Now, when there's just the Rune of Death installed in the normal Elden Ring, that's like how our world operates. Can you imagine the other laws of the universe that may have once been in place that are not anymore? You know what I just noticed? They have a gutter here. This street is built so that when it rains, water comes off of the sidewalk and flows down, like in a normal street. I just noticed that. That's cool. Yeah, they didn't patch those out yet. Ow. Did I get the beast dagger? Ah, shit, I forgot to get that. Well, we'll get that next time he kills me. Likely soon. I think this phase is heavily underappreciated for its mechanical complexity. I don't think this phase is bullshit. It is just very fucking complex. He has openings. I've shown a few of them. Also, I appreciate how subtle this theme is, how somber it is. Hey, we got another bot. That's very active today. So, stop pretending.
Oh, death. Become my blade once more.
Peak. Needless to say. He is so desperate to continue protecting Destined Death that he will once again take up the mantle that he cast aside in shame. Cast in shame and shadow, reborn in black and gold. And I do love that choir swell. The Black Beast of Destined Death. And you know, he does have that on under the robe, of course. Malekith, the Black Blade. Bible cleared. Mechanically, I don't think so. Maybe when I've become more accustomed to Malekith over time, we'll get closer to that territory. But he's not quite there for me. Oh shit. Also, this OST is heavily underrated. I think it's because it's a little more subtle than most of the Soulsborne OSTs. Oh, shit. There we go. So, something we need to talk about. Because, of course, the differences between Goronk's and Malekith's dialogue when you don't do his questline and when you do finish his questline. When you don't do his questline, he doesn't have that same familiarity with you. He basically just says, thou who approachest death and... what is it? Thou who approachest... Why can't I pronounce this? Thou who approacheth destined death, I will not have it stolen from me again. And then just says, you know, when he kills you, cower before Malekith, the Black Blade. But when he knows you personally, he's, first off, sounds kind of heartbroken, betrayed again by someone he trusts. Someone who basically entrusted him, once again, betrayed by someone who had seemingly entrusted him to steal away the power of destined death. Oh, that's fast. I've never thought I was on blast. Whoopsie. I've never parried him before, so I'm gonna have to break some fucking muscle memory to try and do that. Whoa. It's also of note that even after everything that's happened, he still calls himself Marika's Black Blade. He is still Marika's shadow, he still feels loyal to her. Even after being betrayed, knowing that he was gulled by her, deceived. Because he is still Marika's shadow. Just like Blythe, no matter what, he is loyal to Marika. Though, he is intended to be loyal to the Two Fingers above Marika, theoretically. I think, like, he's loyal to the Two Fingers above Marika. What he wants is for the Golden Order to be restored so that Marika can be forgiven of her crime. So, he is loyal to the Two Fingers to the extent that he wants Marika to be saved from her punishment. Yeah, it's excessively... this is excessively treacherous, yes. Marika is excessively treacherous, and so is this terrain. that I did not know existed until several weeks ago. Malekith has peaked to Chill. Better than Ludwig, but you see, Chill, for me, Ludwig clears the Bible. I updated his position during the stream, as you know, which I did not think I would do. I didn't really want to make any ranking changes after the respective videos, but I felt I kind of had to. I didn't give Ludwig the ranking he truly deserved. And I don't know if he's got it. I don't know if Malekith's got that. He might. He may go up again before I do the top 10 Elden Ring bosses video. He may. But I'm not sure if he will. Because I think he has... I think Phase 1 is not as enjoyable as some of the bosses I put just above him. Dragon Fresh Shield Talisman. I guarantee you it has the exact same description. Now we go and get the Cicada. The Cincadia, I guess. Short sword given to high-ranking clergymen of Farum Azula. Raises potency of bestial incantations. The design celebrates a beast's 5 fingers, symbolic of the intelligence once granted upon their kind. Okay, so intelligence was granted to them. The blade of the dagger is gold, the greater will, or the 2 fingers, gave the beastmen intelligence, which allowed them to be servants to the dragons who controlled the Elden. Yeah, Clears the Bible is meant to be an extremely difficult tier to reach as its peak fiction. Correctly. There are certain vibes possessed by bosses that are in Clears the Bible, and I don't think Malekith quite has that. He's very peak, but he doesn't quite clear the Bible. Now, Malekith is a creation of the 2 fingers. He's an artificial entity, like Blythe. But he is a beast clergyman. He is a high-ranking member of the clergy of Farum Azula. I think, since he is under the guise of a beast person, he looks like a beast guy. The beastmen probably don't know any better. He effectively infiltrated Farum Azula. Yeah, everyone in Clears the Bible is an old man. Technically including Ludwig. Like, Ludwig would be pretty old, so you know. Man, it is not letting me open up the map. I have to kill one of these fucking bats, don't I? What's this place then? Oh, this is just the bottom of the Bestial Sanctum. This just seems to be a remnant of Farum Azula that's here in Caelid. There we go. Let's see if I can overcome muscle memory and fucking parry Malekith. Yeah, Gale, the oldest man, literally. From the dawn of time to its ending. Owl, who is old. Gurman, who is old. Sword Saint Ishian, who is not as old as he was when he died, but still looks to be in his 50s or something. Ludwig, who is a big horse monster, but would still be old. And then Godfrey, who is also old. Yeah, the architecture's the same, because it's part of this place. It just kind of got left there, I guess. Yeah, insane homeless man final boss mode. FromSoft understands that old guys are always peak. Shit! Oh yeah, something I thought about a little while ago. Our ghost flame is a nice color contrast to the red of Destined Death, isn't it? It's almost like we're some kind of video game rivals. Hey, could you please move away from there so I'm not at risk of falling to my death? Thank you. See, that flip there is really the only thing that he has that's the same. Oh yeah, I guess there's a big goblet or whatever on the mountaintop that looks to me from here as well. Well, Farum Azula is the city, a city of the dragons, the last one that's left. And that was once the dominant civilization, so it would make sense that there would be traces of them everywhere. Oh, that one's really cool. The bestial incantations are all really cool. They have this, like, dirty, guttural, primal feeling to them that, like, no other miracles in any of these games have had. We're gonna let this play again, because, you know, of course we are. It must be respected.
Oh, death. Become my blade once more.
This goes so far beyond anyone else who's like, oh, yeah, oh, death. Oh, I'm the bringer of death, or whatever. Because his sword, the thing he is making his sword out of, is literally the concept of death. It is the physical manifestation of the fucking concept of death manifested into a weapon. And he's a beast guy, wearing a fucking crop top and short shorts. Actually, is he wearing shorts? No, he's wearing pants. But he is wearing a crop top. Like, that stomach area is fully exposed. Malekith is fully enjoying hot girl summer. Oh, shit. Oh, I'm dead. Or can you buy Malekith's themed booty shorts? I'm sure someone will be selling them on Etsy. Oh, death. Yep. Malekith could maybe theoretically kill the two fingers. Who gave this man a judgment cut? He himself. It's like asking who gave Virgil a judgment cut. He did. He's just that good that he can do it. Yeah, judgment cut, but it is literal death. I want you to understand that in universe, Malekith is effectively the Grim Reaper of this era. Yeah, Malekith is worthy to have Judgment Cut. You have to be a certain level of really fucking cool to get Judgment Cut. Ishin is there, obviously, and it would seem Malekith is as well. I guess technically Electo is, but and Melania is, I guess. I would say Waterfall is Judgment Cut-esque. Sir, please stop throwing rocks at me. You know what this reminds me of just now? The guy in India who got arrested for training his pit bull to drop rocks on top of people that came to his house. Or, not drop rocks, drop cinder blocks. Not the Genshin Impact, bitch. Oh, is the twin bird on the entrance to his arena? I didn't notice it. Hold on. We'll see that next time we come in here. Because we are going to have to come back here to analyze some shit. Because, you know, can't really get a good look at it while we're fighting Malekith. Nice. I understand some of the complaints, but I think people that say this phase is bad are once again people with a bit of a skill issue. Ow. Oh. Wait, is he wearing a thong and thigh highs, or is he just wearing pants? I can't really tell. Hold on. Let's have ourselves a look-see. Malekith, what are you wearing today? Oh my god, I think you're right. That's terrifying. Oh, you actually did it. There you go. You've now seen that it can be done. Why did I do that? I didn't really mean to. I meant to do this. Panic! Am I right, fellas? I'm sure the thing is. Oh. I like the way he turns around. I just noticed that. Most bosses, like, stand up and turn around. He just does, like, a little handstand and then pivots on his hand. I just noticed that. That's such a cool detail. Yeah, Phase 2 music is fantastic. I do believe this boss theme is heavily underappreciated because it's not as bombastic and, like, noticeable as a lot of other ones. But I think that's intentional because Malekith is literally a shadow. He is Marika's shadow. He is supposed to be subtle. He is supposed to be unseen and unnoticed. Need to do that. Whoopsie. That may cost us the run. Fuck, we were close. If I didn't fuck up and use the flask those 2 times, we would have gotten him. Oh well, I get to keep fighting Malekith. I'm not that mad. Well, I guess now I can say I have him down, pretty much. I pretty much got him down to a science for the most part. Malekith do be reppin' White King Wednesday energy. Tater, what the fuck does that even mean? What does that combination of words even mean? Oh yeah, of course. Malekith's design is phenomenal. He is the bestial knight, taken to its most literal sense, and that he is a beast who is a knight. Kind of. I suppose he's... Well, I guess Blythe is like a knight and he's still a shadowbound beast. But you know what I mean. Isn't it funny how the difference between Blythe and Malekith really shows how Ronnie was on kid shit compared to Marika? I think that's really funny, as a matter of fact. Oh, Ronnie, you get the man-wolf Blythe. He's a cute guy. He's a hot wolf man. Marika, what do you get? You get Malekith, the black beast of destined death. To be fair, one is the active ruling god of the era, so, you know, maybe Blythe would have gotten cooler with time. Yeah, I'm currently debating whether I would put Malekith higher than Morgoth. I think having reached a level of somewhat mastery of this fight now, like right now in the present, I might bump him up above Morgoth. Of course. Oh, shit. Now we are fucked, huh? That achieves very little. There's an underrated gem to the Beast Clergyman phase. And what would that do? Might I inquire? Experiencing input delays. I feel like I am. Probably just cope with it. There you go. I didn't think we were getting that one. The question isn't can it kill Malekith, it's kill itself. Yeah, that's a pretty accurate way of describing him, I'd say. That's pretty spot on for the most part. I do not like having my flask in here. I do not like having consumables in that part of the menu. I don't jive with it. But what do we have here? Well, shit. What do you know? Seems whoever mentioned that earlier was correct. That would appear to be the twin bird here. Interestingly, right outside where they keep their mark of the Elden Ring. Considering this royal city is a mausoleum, I think death may have actually been very central to Farum Azula, which is obviously a very big contrast to America's Kingdom of the Earthtree, in which death is, well, non-existent. We don't like death. We don't want any death. Shit, I'm getting my ass kicked now. I've suddenly fallen off. I've forgotten all that I've learned. I think the scepter between them is a Miranda flower, but why? The Miranda flowers have never really... They don't seem to have that much in the way of significance. Like, even outside of the Golden Order and Erdtree worship, like, there just doesn't seem to be any indication of their importance. The scepter could just represent the Crucible or something. No one is but a sprouted flute. It looks similar, I mean, I guess, but I don't know why it would be there. The Miranda has, like, it's just a man-eating flower. Looks more like a lamp, so it may be Helfen. That would make sense, given that Helfen is basically the death realm. Death birds are the envoys of death. Twin birds their mom. Makes sense. Shit. Come on, man, cut me some slack here. There we go. Alright, now we're cooking again. Yeah, he puts the knife in his mouth for when he does the fucking table flipper. It's great. It's phenomenal. Oh shit. We're fucking dead already. Oh my fucking god, that combo. Jesus Christ, and we're already down to one blast. Oh no, he's getting us while we're fucking healing. Dick move, man. Dick move. Well, now we got no healing. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, isn't it crazy how he burned through like 5 of our flasks as soon as the phase started? That's fucking nuts. Malekith is, I think, definitely as strong as he is canonically. Like where he flips forward and then judgment cutting is best for running towards him. Yeah, I was wondering how best to counter that. Because I know you have to get behind him, but I wasn't sure the best way to do that. So much for this being done in 45 minutes. That was an hour and 15 minutes ago. I overestimated my abilities. But I'm not complaining, because Malekith is weak, so it's fine. Former holder of second best boss in the game title. Yeah, I love that detail. Put that shit in his mouth. Like a dog carrying a bone. Timing on that one's so rough. It is kind of remarkable how even after knowing he's been betrayed by Marika, he still calls himself Marika's Black Blade. He's that loyal, that he remains loyal even after she has not been loyal to him. Shit. I can't run in time. I can't. I don't know if I've ever seen that follow-up. My thumb hurts like you wouldn't fucking believe right now. Mostly got it, but it's fine. Remembrance of the Black Blade. Look at that woman there with those wolves. Look at that ancient Elden Ring. Isn't that interesting? Whew, fuck, that was stressful. Damn, that got my heart racing for the first time. Actually, no, I got racing quite a bit yesterday. Or not yesterday, the other day with Melania. But still. Feel good having learned Malekith better? Oh, much better. I mean, I parried him a few attempts ago, but I appreciate it. Ah, the Rune of Death. Such a low-resolution image. The girl is probably Marika. I would not be shocked.
The Rune of Death is unbound.
Ah, the New World status.
And the lands between are shrouded by death's dark fate. But the flames will also burn the impenetrable thorns.
I know where those guys are. Those guys are where Goldmask was. Look at that shit. Welcome back to Limgrave. You can see the kiln right there.
Farewell, it is then.
There's the Church of LA down there. There's the kiln up there at the right. Stormvale is to the left.
You'll be Elden Lord yet.
Farewell it is then, I guess. Malekith could solo every current character in a 1v1? Maybe. Except for maybe Melania. Yeah, I don't think getting the cheat stone doesn't necessarily mean you can beat Malekith. You know why? You need skill to parry. I don't think the God-devouring serpent has parry timings. He could take Melania, but I don't think he could definitely beat her. Rykard has skill, but he's definitely lacking in dexterity in his current state. So welcome to the Ashen Capital. We'll be exploring this place for what little remains here tonight, but in the meantime, we've got some minor stuff to take care of first. Very minor stuff, of course. Rykard. Thousands of hands could parry for him, but I don't think those hands are skilled enough to parry Malekith. He needs to have the timing down. Yeah, he is high con to compensate. I think Rykard is the tankiest boss in the game, as far as I'm aware. Because he has 2 health bars that are both like 30,000 health. So this place looks shittier than ever before. Oh, don't you worry, we're buying Malekith stuff. Gideon's left, because this place is mega fucked now. Hey Roderica, what's up?
I see. You're here for some spirit tuning.
What's up with Hugh?
Oh, is that right? So Master Hugh won't listen to you either. You have my thanks regardless. I'll try and talk him round next time. I know he was given this great entreaty to craft a weapon which could slay a god. Though I can't help but think of it as a curse.
Yeah, Marika seems to love
Fearsome
cursing
curse
people.
Put on him by Queen Marika. And if that's the case, I'm not sure there's anything we can do.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Marika did that so that eventually a Tarnished could come about and slay the Elden Beast. Even though we don't actually need that. We don't really need Hugh to forge shit, and we could still kill the Elden Beast.
Who are you? Oh.
Ah, the Dementia Arc.
I must be a blacksmith. Now, Let's get smithing.
Chilled, I would never use the poker on him. Also, he moves around so much that it probably wouldn't be that effective anyway.
Could you tell me what happened? Why is the round table burning? In ruins. Why does that girl weep for me? Oh. Have I forgotten something of dire importance?
Kinda. A little bit.
Who are you? Oh, now.
I see.
What happened to Hugh?
Oh, so it wasn't just me this happened to. To think he'd forget who you were as well. I knew he'd burn himself out. Old Hugh. I think we could talk him into leaving the round table hold now. But maybe it's better that we don't. It's only proper that we respect his choice to stay. I'll remain with Hugh. He made me who I am today. I'd like to return the kindness, in whatever small way I can. Please, become Elden Lord. Hugh was always saying that you were a lord to him. So slay her with the weapons he smithed. Slay the god Marika, who cursed us all.
Sure thing. You had quite the development yourself, from being too scared to go get grafted by Godric to willing to stay here and die in the burning round table with Hugh to repay him for how he helped you.
Who are you? Oh, now.
I guess I missed the dialogue where he calls us a lord. Shit. Well, anyway. Two Fingers are still here, and he has died of smoke inhalation. Remembrance of the Black Blade. Malekith was a shadow-bound beast given to his Empyrean. Marika's sole need of her shadow was a vessel to lock away destined death. Even then, she betrayed him. Malekith's Black Blade, which once harbored the power of the Rune of Death, a sad shadow of its former glory. After a fragment of death was stolen on that fateful night, Malekith bound the blade within his own flesh, such that none might ever rob death again. Power gleaned from the remembrance of Malekith. Caster creates an illusory black blade, then leaps forward to deliver a spinning slash that emits a wave of light. This can be followed up with one additional attack. This blade was once imbued with destined death. In addition to dealing damage, it reduces foes' maximum HP and continues to sap their current HP for a very short time. So, I find it interesting that the Sword of the Shadow is a shadow of its former glory. Then we have his equipment. Beast's helm made of black iron and decorated with gold, worn by Malekith the Black Blade. Malekith, Queen Marika's loyal half-brother, bore a blade imbued with destined death, and there was not one demigod who did not fear him. Champions knew what was at stake. Indeed, that is what made them champions. I believe that's the same description for all this stuff. Yeah? Yeah. Now his actual armor is quite drippy, but his helmet looks kind of silly on a human. Just because of the helmet doesn't fit quite right. Unfortunately, because I love the plume. But maybe if we combine it like so. I would say that works for the most part. Yeah, the funny jellyfish lady's like, attack and dethrone God. So here's where we'll go here to end off the stream. Because we gotta talk about some shit. Some lore stuff. This is the ancient Elden Ring. This is what it looked like at one point in time. And, I think death is in there towards the top. Yeah, it has kind of like this rhombus shape on it that you don't see on the cover version. Because obviously the curve at the top, that's Marika's rune, that she has now, whatever that's supposed to represent. And Destined Death kind of has a similar shape to it. I think that's where it is. And then you can kind of see where all the other runes go. But the ring here is way fucking bigger than the one that we have in the current time. Like, there's just way more to it. There used to be more laws of physics than there are now. Yeah, the Rune of Control or something. It's not really clear exactly what everyone's runes represent. We could probably make some kind of theory video about that. Because they theoretically all represent some kind of concept. Then we have this woman here. Bottom, it looks like a sword handle. Maybe a little, I guess. It's shaped like absolute radiance. Now that's kind of accurate. This lady here, a human woman, who is frankly a bit out of place, where we have all the beast statues, and she's surrounded by these wolves. This is probably Marika. It could be someone else, I guess, but I'm not sure exactly who. Maybe it's the person depicted in those other statues. You know, the person with the child. Pretty sure there's statues of Elden John somewhere in here. Somewhere here in Fur Missoula, there's statues of the guy. Can't quite tell. That looks like a tree, I think. Yeah, either Marika or the Glow-Eyed Queen, but I think the Glow-Eyed Queen became a thing after Marika's rule started. It wouldn't be Miquella. They're too big to be Miquella, and too clearly feminine. Miquella doesn't have really any kind of significance to this place, whereas Marika is Malekith's Empyrean. This is where we fight Malekith. Now, Malekith. What do I want to say about Malekith? Well, you know, other than him being really fucking cool. What do we have for lore significance in regards to him? Well, you know, he's Marika's shadow. Ah, that was some stuff I wanted to talk about. Quelaag goes over some interesting stuff, because Quelaag always gets into, like, kind of philosophical things. Spiritual, philosophical, psychological stuff. There are different versions of the self in psychology, some versions of psychology. I think it's mostly Jungian psychology, in which you have yourself, you have your outer self, and then you have the inner self, the shadow. Malekith is Marika's shadow. He is the secret enforcer. Godfrey was out defeating the enemies of the Erd Tree. He was the one out openly exerting Marika's will, making things the way Marika wanted them to be. In the meantime, when things are going well, when we're at times of peace, and this probably especially applied during Radigan's time, prior to the Night of Black Knives. Well, you know, not much is going on. Sometimes people may become a little discontent with the way things are. Maybe they want to be in charge. They think they could do things better. They just want power. But then they're reminded of the shadow. Of Marika's shadow, ever present. The only one that can deliver death to the demigods. So you may be one of the demigods, and you may think, oh, I really wish I could take over. Marika, my mom, or ancestor, however far down in the golden lineage you are, I would prefer to take things over for her. I think I may try to usurp her or something. And then you remember the whispers, the stories in hushed tones of the black beast of destined death. Marika's shadow, Malekith. If you try anything, he can kill you. He is the only thing that can kill you. And he will. He will kill you. Because Malekith could kill almost anyone, really. He's a shadow, a person of the dark who weeds out all problems before they can become an issue. He single-handedly killed most of the Godskin and the Gloam-Eyed Queen while she had death. Yeah, exactly. Or other, specialty problems, such as dealing with an Empyrean, or people that wield destined death. I don't know if Godfrey would have really been able to manage that himself. So when it comes to issues like that, I imagine you don't really hear anyone talk about the Godskins. You hear people talk about the Ancient Dragons, you hear people talk about the Giants. You never hear anyone talk about the Godskin. You know why? Marika would not tell people about a rival Empyrean. Especially someone with the power of destined death that could destroy her kingdom. That's something you want to keep kind of low-key. So you send your special force to deal with that, you know? You send Malekith. And he solves the problem for you. I suppose he basically did just exist for her to be kind of like a problem solver. To just... I mean, really, that's kind of how everyone exists for Marika. From her perspective, everyone is a means to an end. Everyone is a tool that has a different use. And in Malekith's case, that was to be a vessel for destined death. And when she didn't need him to contain destined death anymore for the sake of her plot, she just betrayed him. But Malekith, being created to be loyal to Marika, remained loyal to her anyway. And his desire to recollect the power of destined death is so that the Golden Order can be restored, and so that everything can be right again, and so that Marika can be free and well. It is in the best interests of Marika while remaining loyal to the Two Fingers and the Greater Will. Unfortunately, my man could not have his way, because we exist, and he wouldn't have been able to have it anyway, unfortunately. It's a very sad state of affairs for our boy Malekith. But anyway, that's going to be pretty much all for this afternoon's stream. As I mentioned earlier, we'll be back tonight to finish up the game at long last. I hope you're all excited for that. Yeah, Malekith is tragic. The mistakes he did cannot be undone. He was losing his mind to a constant hunger, and no matter how much Deathroot he ate, he couldn't make up for his sins and mistakes. Yeah, I don't think his hunger is an actual curse imposed by Marika. Because Marika wouldn't really want the Deathroot to be recollected. It is a self-imposed thing. It's because of the guilt that he feels for having failed to protect destined death. He needs to collect all of it back. But what's done is done. Godwyn is dead. He's infected the roots of the Erd Tree. Deathroot is growing everywhere. He will never be able to eat all of the Deathroot. He will never be able to fully recollect the power of destined death. Things will never be the same. Yeah, no bad dogs, only bad owners. Funny how that happens. Funny how that applies here, huh? So yeah, what a cool guy that Malekith. Well, we have quite a few more cool guys. Well, we have like a couple more cool guys to get to tonight. So be sure not to miss that. We'll probably start in like, I don't know, 3 hours or so? Because, you know, dinner, things of that nature. Showering, doing schoolwork, doing whatever other stuff I might do. Not really sure yet. We got 4 bosses left. And they're all rather interesting in their own rights. Oh, you know, we got those few things in the Ashen Capital to take care of. It'll be a fun night. I hope you're all looking forward to it. I know I am. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, I'll see you all around. Take care. Bye-bye.